You're listening to the Oklahoma Onstage Podcast. Here we sit down with the folks that make the magic happen on and off stage in the Oklahoma theater scene. We're glad you joined us. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And our website is oklahomaonstage.org. If you have any comments or questions, you can send them to us at oklahomaonstage@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, please leave us a rating and review and share with those you know. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Grab a snack and a drink and take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive. With drama, dance, and music, the arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
Welcome to Oklahoma on Stage. I'm Tim. I'm your host of this adventure we call Oklahoma Theater. Today we're joined by a performer who's danced through Shakespeare, screamed through indie horror, and somehow made it all look effortless. She's an actress, musician, dancer based in Edmond, Oklahoma, and while her resume includes Viola, Moth, and a film called Jack-o'-lantern Massacre, her story is just beginning. Oklahoma Onstage family, join me in welcoming today Miss Sam Kellar to the show.
Hi. Oh my gosh, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me. I wish I could hire you to do all my intros through life. That's amazing.
Interesting story. A few years ago, I was doing a Christmas thing at church, and part of us were narrating part of the Christmas story.
Oh, really?
And we get done, and my pastor's like, I just want to hire him to follow me around, narrate my life.
You just have that narration voice. It's have you ever watched those honest trailers on YouTube growing up where it's in a world and that's just it's full-time job?
I don't want to do that, but yeah, I do some narration and stuff like that.
Love that.
So we're going to just dive right in here.
Okay.
We're going to start with the basics. So let's say you run into somebody on the street and they ask you, Sam, what do you do? How do you answer that?
What do I do? Okay, I just say I'm an actress, I also it's really hard to say because it's I have my normal boring job, but then it's I have this whole other side to me that's doing all these amazing films and productions and stuff, and that's my pure passion. So you can even see it on my Instagram bio and stuff. I full on say I'm an actress because I love it and it's something I can see me doing for the absolute rest of my life.
Sure. So you're a triple threat,
Yes.
actor, musician, dancer. Which came first?
Dance. Weirdly enough, dance. I started dancing when I was 3.5, I believe. My first dance, I don't remember it, but the first one I really remember was doing Grease as a dance recital as a little kid, which looking back, that is a giant controversy. But I danced for 13 years.
Okay.
And then I danced competitively. So for about 4 years doing competitive jazz and hip hop. And then once I moved to Oklahoma, I lived in Weatherford for a little bit, which is was back then a very small town that only had one dance studio, but it did more pageant dancing. It wasn't real dancing that I knew and stuff. So I kind of dropped dancing and I focused more on acting in high school. And then just kind of continue through it. Singing was something that I'd occasionally do in the shower. My brother was a big choir nerd, so I'd sing with him. And then I joined choir in high school. I enjoyed it. And then I started playing ukulele after I graduated and stuff. And that's when I really got into being I can also do this.
Always something to add to, and great when you can find a new talent.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so name something that people might not expect about you off stage.
Oh, something people might not expect from me. That's hard because I try to put completely my heart and soul out there. Actually, okay, something people might not know about me is I'm actually kind of an anxious mess secretly. Like you meet me, I'm pretty I'm very outspoken, very confident. However, like secretly in the back of my mind, I'm like questioning like, "Oh, is this the right thing? Like, am I doing something right?" Even like getting certain parts in productions, I always have that little voice in the back of my mind that's very much like, you have to make an impression, you have to do perfect, or else these people are gonna be like questioning like why you got the part and stuff. And so and I know the people, I know they would not do that, but it's in the very back of my mind that's like, oh, you gotta do your best. So yeah.
So basically, you're a theater person.
Yes.
Because I think we're all like that to a point. So
Yeah.
okay, so let's dial it all the way back.
Okay.
You were born and raised in Oregon.
Yes.
So what was the arts scene like there?
Very, very, very different. Okay. So I started just doing basically middle school plays. I started because my brother did some musicals, and then I saw my sister do almost every single play she did in middle school. And I was like, oh, I want to try that. That looks fun. So in middle school, I auditioned for a play with my sister, got cast, and it was very, very different because I don't know like what kind of auditions like you've done, Tim, because you were also very into the acting world. But in Oregon, all the auditions I've ever done are only cold reads, and if you're auditioning for a musical, you have to learn either a certain part of a specific song or pick a song of your choice and perform that. Well, even auditioning here, you have to memorize an entire monologue. That's the basic beginning for your audition, and then you do a cold read, and then you do like callbacks and all that stuff. Like Oregon, you don't memorize the monologue, so it's like the slightest things are like very different. Like I remember going to high school and my theater teacher being like, okay, for your auditions first you guys are gonna memorize this monologue, and I'm gonna record you saying it. And I'm just like, what? Like what? Like, huh? Like full anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen probably a little bit of both. I've seen some bring a monologue, bring a song of your choice, a song in the realm of the play. So a similar song to this show, so that they can kind of hear you.
Mhm.
A lot of directors don't want you to sing a song from the show.
Yes.
They would rather not have that.
There's always those very unspoken rules in theater auditions that you have to know. Like my sister was telling me, I don't know. I mostly realized this with Shakespeare. Like when I was auditioning for Midsummer's, it's like, for example, if you audition for a Shakespeare comedy, you have to pick a different Shakespeare comedy monologue to audition with. However, if it's a Shakespeare tragedy, you have to pick a different Shakespeare tragedy to audition with. Same thing for each genre. You just cannot pick like a movie one, or else you're gonna feel like you're ripping off the original material. And that's something my sister actually taught me. She was very much like, don't do a movie one, pick a play one, watch all the different versions, pick which one's best for you. And I actually owe my sister because she is the reason I know all these monologues. Because like when I auditioned for Midsummer, she recommended me Antigone to audition with, which I did, and I did pretty well. And I was like, I remember calling her and being like, Kenzie, I don't know what to audition with. Like, I don't know which monologue. And she's just like, Sam, try Antigone, okay? It's perfect. Like, pass, like Shakespeare, a little hint of tragedy and stuff. Like, you got it. I'm like, okay.
A little bit of advice might help. Google works wonders. If you just go into Google and seriously, and especially for musicals, if you're looking for a song, you can go into Google and say, what's a good song for a female auditioning for this show?
Oh, yeah.
And it will give you a list of similar songs.
Really? I didn't.
And you could do that. So yeah, my wife does it all the time.
See, I just have playlists on Spotify for literally everything. So I just create like an audition playlist of like all the songs that I can sing in my vocal range. And it's like I picked the most similar one to that character that's not from that show and sing that.
There you go. Works the same way.
100%.
So what was your first encounter with theater growing up?
My very first encounter with theater. Okay, so my very first encounter was my brother. He did 2 high school shows that I really remember. I don't know if he did anymore because I was like really young, so I don't remember. But he did High School Musical as ensemble at our public theater in Oregon, and then he did Aladdin Jr. And then, so I saw my siblings do all these performances and stuff. And it wasn't until my sister got the lead part in her, I believe, 7th grade production of A Dark and Stormy Night that I was like, oh, I love this. Like, she's doing amazing. Like, it was a part very similar to Viola, who I'm playing, which is hilarious to me. Because me and my sister weirdly mirror each other's roles. She played Amy Little Woman. I played Amy Little Woman. She played Madeline in An Edgar Allan Poe. I played Madeline the Raven. Like, and now she played this character in A Dark and Stormy Night, and I'm playing Viola. So it was very much. I will say my sister 100% was the one that inspired me to start acting and really got me into it. And then it did help when my first play I got into, which weirdly, this is like, what's the word for it where it's like, the English word where it's like you're trying to, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the word where it's like something in the past maybe could predict the foreshadowing. That is it. The theater kid couldn't remember the word foreshadowing. Anyway, but you won't believe what this first play was. You'll never guess. It was The Outsiders.
Nice.
Which is Oklahoma film.
Yeah.
This is before
That was foreshadowing.
Exactly. I was a little salty with my sister because she got the part I wanted. I'm not gonna lie, she got Sandy, I got the nurse, but it was still like really cool to act with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, foreshadowing 100% because that was filmed in Oklahoma, and a couple years later, look where I'm living.
There. Have you been to The Outsiders house?
Yes, it's my favorite movie. God, I might be embarrassed to say this because my parents are gonna listen to this, but I spent over $100 in merch there when I went.
Oh my goodness.
I was addicted. That's my favorite movie.
So, do you remember? It's kind of the same thing. Do you remember the first time you stepped on stage? Or I should say, and you kind of really went into this, the first time that it clicked that this is what I want to do.
So it's been like a very on and off thing with theater for me because like back then, like I loved it and I wanted to keep doing it. However, until very recently, actually, I was like, I didn't know if I was going to continue with this for like the rest of my life because it was very much in my head that's like only few people, like the realization that only very few people make it through and do this all the time. And so I remember I was like at a really like, it was like right before I did Midsummers. I was in a really low place. Like I had everything 1 month and in the span of 2 months, I kind of like lost everything. I was really low in life. And then I saw the audition for Midsummer Night's Dream pop up on my Facebook. And this is from someone that did a little bit of public theater, only gone ensemble in public theater. And I was like, like, okay, like this could be fun. Finally, like something I can do for like myself and my free time. And so I text my best guy friend, Nathan, who played Puck. And I was like, hey, would you want to come audition with this for me? Because I don't want to go alone. And he was like, yeah, Sam, like, sure. Like, let's full send it. And I'm like, okay. So we auditioned, got callbacks, got it. And then being around everyone, especially from like the friends I made through that, like I found my, like, I cannot speak. I refound my love for acting. And now I'm at that mindset where I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. Like, I don't care. Like, how long it takes, like I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. There's nothing I'm more passionate about.
That's one thing I can say that the theater community in Oklahoma City, especially, I can speak to some of the outerlying areas, but I know Oklahoma City, especially, I'm finding I'm extending my family with every show. I'll put it that way.
100%, because like I will still talk to a majority of the Midsummer's cast, like 100%. I'll still go to karaoke nights with like Lola and Ben, who played Helena and Demetrius. I mean, I still work with Nathan, so I see him almost every day. And like I was even calling, Julie was one of the first people who I called when I got Viola. It was just, and now like I have an even bigger group of people with 2 people I've met before, and then because Adam was also in Midsummers with me, and then I met Savannah, who plays Andrew Eguchi. I cannot say that name, but she plays Andrew, and I met her at an audition, and her and I instantly clicked. And then I'm adding all these people that I just met that I'm really getting along with, like Steven, Alex, Brian, so many more faces that I'm like, oh my god, this is just the most welcoming community ever.
Absolutely. And it doesn't really matter, where you're from. this could be your first show in Oklahoma. Great. Welcome to the family.
Yeah, because that's another difference between Oklahoma and Oregon. So many people are so rude in the Oregon theater community. I'm not gonna cap. Like I've had mostly good experiences. However, this is gonna be kind of tea, a little bit like juicy tea. So my theater teacher in Oregon, my middle school theater teacher, she got fired for throwing shoes at us and hitting us with rulers. Thankfully, she never did that to me because I like to say I was the nepo baby of that school because my sister was her absolute favorite.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, so she got fired from that, and then I remember she had beef with the new director that came in because the new director was changing absolutely everything. Yeah, that those shows in Oregon, some with that teacher though, I still love that teacher as a person. I think she's a cool person. Maybe not the best teacher for that school and that time, but it was very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, the theater community, I mean, regardless of, good, bad, or whatever, it can be competitive. And I think to a certain extent that's good because a little competition makes us all better.
Oh, 100%.
But at the same time, we're all supportive of each other. We are so happy when other people get parts and things like that. So
Oh, 100%.
So okay, you moved to Oklahoma. You were 3 years old? No, 3 years ago. Sorry, I read 3 years ago. Is that right?
I moved. Was it? No, it was a lot longer than 3 years ago. I moved to Oklahoma when I was a sophomore in high school, and I'm now 22. So
I think this is when you moved to Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah,
3 years.
yes, I moved to Oklahoma City 3 years ago.
Mr. Word there. So okay, so you moved to Oklahoma. You were in high school. What brought you to Oklahoma?
So what happened was we were just I was dealing with very personal issues in Oregon. I was not having fun in my dance life. It was a very low depression state to the point where my mom was kind of like, we got to get out of Oregon. This isn't good for any of us. And so my mom got a job in Weatherford. And so that was probably the little hardest time of my life because at that time I was doing all these dance competitions in school. I'm just starting high school, stressful point of my life, and improv club and all this. So my mom actually had to move to Oklahoma before all of us and spend I believe it was a couple months up in Weatherford working while we were all trying to figure out our own life before the school year was over. My dad was, I think he still is, a full-time truck driver. So he was always out of the house. My sister, my brother was just doing his college stuff. My sister basically kind of had to take me under her wing for that final year of in Oregon. She was the one driving me to school and stuff. And then my dad would make sure though I'd make it to dance and stuff. But yeah. So thankfully, once that whole year kind of happened, me, my brother, and my dad all moved up to join my mom in Oklahoma. And my sister stayed behind in Oregon so she could finish her senior year of high school there and everything because she didn't want to move. She had all the rights. And that was also really heartbreaking.
So you moved down here to Oklahoma City 3 years ago.
Yes.
What caused you to move to Oklahoma City?
To Oklahoma City, it was really a tough choice because I was working the same job. I used to be a lifeguard. So I was just working that same job, barely making money to scrape by. I was living in a little van home with a couple that I knew their son from school and stuff. And my brother recently re-signed the lease on his place, so he was living alone. And then these people, I am not friends with them because they I'm not close with them anymore because what happened was a lot of stuff happened. I ended up getting kind of I got in trouble at college and stuff to the point where I didn't want to do it. It was a trade school that I was going to, but I got in trouble to the point where I was I don't want to be here anymore. And then that caused, again, a really downward spiral of my mental health. And then these people that I was living with, instead of helping me and actually being oh, we want to help you improve and all that, they just said get out. They were literally pack all your stuff, 24 hours, get out. So I was okay, I see. And so this was, I think, the low point in my life. I had everything I owned in my car, which is like a little Honda Civic, like very little car. And I had to call my mom and be like, hey, like I'm homeless. Like I need to come back home. Like I need to come like live with you. And she's like, okay, yep, then quit your jobs. So come live up here, get a new job up in the city. Like, I'm going to be traveling for my job and stuff, so you'll basically have my apartment to yourself. And I was like, okay. So I said, screw it. Like, moved everything up within, like, the next 2 weeks. I mean, I obviously put my 2 weeks at my jobs because I'm not a monster. I'm not leaving my jobs in the spot. That's something I'm very proud of myself for. But yeah, I put in my 2 weeks, worked those last weeks, stayed with my brother for those, and then I moved everything up and kind of just said goodbye to everything.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people can do that. So
Yeah.
So here's a little interesting curveball question for you.
Okay.
So if Oregon was Act 1 and Oklahoma is Act 2, what's the biggest plot twist so far?
Like in a sad way or a happy way or?
Either way.
Okay. This is gonna take like a little like sad like plot twist and stuff. So be prepared if you're emotional and like
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning, yes. But so when I had a boyfriend when I moved up here that I dated for 6 years on and off. So we started dating my 8th grade year. And then we kept dating. It was very on and off relationship because we kept long distance. And so recently, like I believe like 2 years ago, he passed away. Yeah. And that was the most surprising thing to ever happen to me. Like, cause it wasn't like, oh, it's a boyfriend. Like, it was just a boyfriend. Like, no. This was one of my childhood best friends. This was one of the cores of my friend group. This was the man I will say was my first love. And him and I were even engaged. He even bought me a ring and everything. And he even told me like, oh, next time I see you, like, I'm gonna propose to you. And then sadly, like, we broke up because, like, of course, like, we had the on and off relationship thing still. So we broke up. And like, I remember his last words to me were like, oh, I hope you find someone like that could be everything that I wasn't like for you or something. Oh no, it was something along those lines, but it was like very heartfelt, like, and everything. And I'm like, and I hope you find the girl of your dreams that could be everything like I wasn't and stuff. Those were our final messages. And then like the end of the month, I saw on his dad's Facebook, like, he passed away, and that destroyed me. Like, I've lost people before, but this death was like, it felt like those scenes in movies where you see the character completely break down and never be the same. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like drama TV shows where they like scream or something.
Oh yeah, no, I've been there.
That was me. Like,
Yeah.
There was no easier way to put it. So I would say that was the biggest like plot twist in my life. Is like this guy that you expect to be there till the very end. Oh, it's like, oh wow, like he's like gone. Like,
yeah, that's sad, and that's unfortunately the reality of this life we live, where none of us are going to make it out alive. So, did you have sorry, folks, sirens. Did you have a support system to help you get through that? Or
honestly, to be 100% honest, like, no.
Okay.
Like, cause it was very much. This is when I was still living in Weatherford. It was very much. My mom was in OKC. I mean, I had my brother, but my brother, like, I wasn't always the closest with him. Like, I loved hanging out with him and doing fun stuff, but like, I don't want to drain my brother with like my issues. My sister was in Oregon. My dad moved to Oregon and stuff. So it was very like much like I was kind of felt on my own, and it had like a really toxic friend at the time that would always make situations like about her and stuff. Thankfully, I cut her off. Thankfully, best thing I've ever done with my mental. Yeah, but it was very like difficult. Like, it was a very difficult time in my life that I was just like kind of dead. And here's the interesting thing: is he loved my acting. He when I did my very first, like, not my very first, but my second role in public theater in Oregon, he actually showed up with his dad. And like we got like a photo and everything. He was like, "Oh my god, like you did like amazing. Like how come you didn't like tell me you were in the show?" And I was just like, "Oh, like I don't know. Like I don't really like talking about what I do." Like, and he was just like, and then he literally asked me out like that night.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I will say that you're doing the right thing as far as the theater stuff, because I've told people for years theater is my therapy. So
100%.
and you know, sometimes we still need therapy, and I think everyone should be in therapy, by the way. Um, so yeah, and so I'm glad to see that you at least made it through that. So
Yeah.
so moving forward,
Maybe
you
a lighter topic.
well, maybe.
Maybe.
So roles like Viola in Twelfth Night, multiple roles in Midsummer Night's Dream. What draws you to Shakespeare?
Here's the funny thing is I don't know. I'm just like here's the funny thing. So I always told myself like throughout my acting, I was like, I want to do at least one Shakespeare role. Like my dream is like Juliet and Romeo and Juliet. And then when I saw Midsummer, I was like, oh, that's the play from that they did in that one episode of Sweet Life and Zack and Cody that I read in high school. So I don't know why. Like it was weird enough because originally before I got Viola, I also got a part in another production all the way in Ada, Oklahoma. However, it was like a very small part, and I was not going to be able to like drive there every like 2 hours away for every rehearsal,
Sure.
which is like from where I live, it's a horrible drive. And so I'm like these people are really nice, but I don't know if I can do this. So I was like, okay, if I audition, like I'll audition for this 12th night. If I get, that's a sign from the universe telling me that I'm okay doing what I'm doing and to continue doing 12th and to do 12th night and stuff. So I auditioned for 12th night, and then I think the night after, my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to audition for Little Woman at Storyteller Theater with me?" And because she wanted my help filming like a self like audition tape because she's never done that before, and I've had experience mostly doing that for films. I hate filming self tapes. I hate it. I loathe it. But I still had to do it. So I was like, yeah, I can come over and help. So I brought my little tripod and stuff and helped her. And I'm just like, should I just send one in just to like be like, like let's do it and stuff. And she was like, yeah, like wouldn't hurt, like wouldn't hurt. And so I'm like, okay. So she had her scene memorized and everything and stuff. I'm there holding the script and like reading this like one little monologue thing. And then I got an email. Then I got the call that I got cast as Viola. And then I got an email that I got a call back for Joe March for Storyteller. And I felt so heartbroken that I had to email Storyteller Theater and be like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I got Viola.
There you go. You never know.
It's very much like Shakespeare's just been choosing me lately.
And sometimes that happens,
Yeah.
The roles choose you sometimes.
100%.
So how do you approach a role like Viola? What is your process in becoming that character?
Becoming Viola. Okay. Well, Viola is very much like my sister, to say the very least. Very tomboy, very much like, oh, like, I can do it. Like, because here's the thing. The difference between me and, like, Viola is, like, I would be too lazy to do that. I'd be like, let the men work. Like... But I have this full process with every role that I do, that I create around 2 to 3 playlists for each show or film or something. So, for example, for Midsummer Night's Dream, I only had one playlist because I was 3 characters and there's no way I'm creating like 4 different playlists for that one show. So I create one playlist of every song that reminds me of that show in general. Then what I did with Viola and 12th Night, I created one Viola playlist that was like songs that just remind me of her. And then I also added songs that reminded me very much of her and Orsino's relationship, which is like very much like Lacey by Olivia Rodrigo, or like, I'm trying to think because there's so many like songs, but like a song that reminds me of like Viola is like Do It Like a Dude by Jessie J, or The Man by Taylor Swift, like those type songs. And then, also Love Songs by Axe and the Hatchmen. That is one that I see very hard for Orsino and Viola. And then I have a 12th Night playlist where I asked all the cast to like even contribute songs and stuff. And that's where I put all the songs that just reminds me of the entire show. Like Rambling Lunatic is one of the songs in it to remind us of Morvolio.
Okay.
and the yellow stockings.
Yeah.
So, like, very much, it's like me listening to those songs over and over again. And then, like, thankfully, with a lot of Shakespeare productions, their scripts are all on Spotify. So, like, if I really need to rehearse my lines, I will, like, watch those and stuff and listen to those. Checking the time. Yeah, perfect. Okay, making sure.
Oh, you're.
But yeah. So yeah, I'll like listen to the script over and over again to also like get it in my mind, and I'll even binge watch like all the movies it's ever created like based off them to celebrate. Like I've been I literally bought on my Amazon Prime account She's the Man, just for this. Like just for this, I'm gonna be Amanda Bynes.
Okay. Wow, I hadn't heard that one in a long time.
Oh, it's such a good movie. I literally dressed up as her for Halloween though, which was hilarious.
Wow. There you go. So you played Philostrate, Moth, and Snug in Midsummer. It's quite a range.
Yes.
How did you juggle all three characters?
Okay, so here's the funny story. I wasn't supposed to be Snug.
Of course.
I wasn't. So what happened was originally Nathan, who I mentioned earlier, he was Snug. And he was the understudy of Puck. So originally what happened was I was just Philostrate and Moth, which were like, okay, those are perfect. Like very different scenes, wide enough, stretch, whatever. And so what happened was Julie, our director, came up to me and she's like, hey, when Nathan's Puck for his one like understudy performance, do you want to be Snug for that? Like, and I'm like, yeah, that's my homeboy. Like, gotta help him out. Like, I'm gonna do this. Like, and Snug, I will say, is the most awkward part I've ever played because it's just I had to wear this lion's head that was like really cool, but I just felt really ridiculous. And this is from the girl that literally was a moon for Adam's family. Like, but like nothing is a show though. But it was just very much like, oh, okay. Like, and then the guy that was originally playing Puck for his own personal reasons, I still love him, but he dropped out. And so Nathan was then full time. And I remember we were walking out of work. He's like, oh, by the way, I'm Puck full time. And I'm like, oh my God, that's great. And then I look at him, I'm like, wait a minute. He's like, what? And I'm like, does this mean I'm Snug full time? He's like, yep. And I was just like, okay, for you, remember this. And I will say the most difficult part about all that was the quick change in Act 2. I don't know if you really like remember that, but I will explain this. So what happened is in Act 2, start off as Snug, I start off as Moth, and then I have like a little like change to just Snug, very like simple. And like during that change, like I'm putting on all Philostrate's rings because I'm not gonna have time to after. So then once I'm normal Snug, I have to jump off stage, change into Philostrate, so remove all my Snug clothes. Like thankfully still wearing like shorts and a tank top under, so not naked. But I have to put on I had to slide on this button shirt and vest over my head and then pull up these pants, slide on my shoes, make sure all the buttons are fixed, and then have to grab this piece of paper as my prop. Then walk out. I talk to Theseus, and the moment I run off stage, what I do is I throw this giant golden cloak over the outfit, change the different pants, and then I have to take off my glasses. So I was legally blind doing this. Take off my glasses, tie this lion's head on so fast. And I think I only had like, how many lines? It was like in between like 3 to 5 lines to like do all this. So like, then I would have to go on, play this lion part for just a little bit, run off, take off all the rings because me and Adam had like our little slap bit and I didn't want to like cut his hands up accidentally. I would also like take this time because it was a little longer break. I'd take this time to like slide off the undershirt so I wasn't like dying of heat stroke, and tighten the mask because normally we would throw on the mask so enough to stay on, but then we would like tighten it so it wouldn't like actually fall off on me. Then run out, then perform, then immediately take all that off, put on a skirt, put on my jewelry, grab my ukulele, run to the other side of the stage, and then be Moth for that final scene.
Wow. It's a lot of moving.
It was exhausting. I mean, we always made jokes because Frank had the quick change because he had to end one scene as Oberon and then start the next scene as Theseus. So he had the quickest one. Mine was just the most consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Treasure Island, I had to do a quick change.
Really?
Complete from one character to another, complete head to toe. It was
It's exhausting.
it was pretty brutal.
That's the one of the best things I've learned about dancing because I had to change in like one song when I was like a little kid. So I was like, I'm so thankful I know how to quick change.
So yeah, that was my wife and I were just watching this video the other night of It was the essence of a Broadway quick change. And she comes off stage and she's taking off something as she comes behind the curtain. And there's 4 people helping her dress, changing her hair, clothes. I was like, why didn't I have one of those?
I know. Because I remember when I was doing my quick changes, the only people that were helping me was, it would depend on the night, because if it was Gabby being Hermia, then Michaela and Jamie were helping me. And then if it was Michaela being Hermia, then it's Gabby and Jamie helping me. It was one of the cobwebs for whoever was cobweb that night, and then like Jamie, and they like were really the MVPs, because all I had to do was just listen to what they told me to do and just go roll with that.
Nice, nice. So, do you have a favorite moment from any of those productions that happened either on stage or backstage?
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, this is a really funny story. Because here's the thing. I would say during one of my performances of actually one of my rehearsal of Midsummers. So what happened is I told you I was legally blind with that lion's mask on because I didn't have my glasses. And so I couldn't see where the tape was on the curtains, so which way to get in and stuff. So during this rehearsal, I tell Daniel, who's playing like Peter Quince, I'm like, hey, like I need you to just, like, me and Adam are gonna do a little slap it. I need you to drag me off stage. Like I need you to pretend like, because like obviously I'm doing the beginning of this play in my glasses. It's gonna be like a blind joke. I need you to take me off stage so I do not get lost in the curtain and I'm not just fumbling on stage. It's like, yeah, like okay, I can do that. So me and Adam, we go on, we do our little slap bit, but Daniel comes and pulls me, and like I'm like clumsy. Somehow I trip on something and I just eat it backstage. I just full and fall to the point everyone heard me and they were just like, "Are you okay?" I'm just laughing. I'm laying on the floor, dying laughing, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm alive.
That's the important thing. Okay. So, shifting gears just a little bit
Alright.
from the stage to the screen, you've also been doing some indie film work.
Yeah.
A couple of things right off the top: Jack-o'-lantern Massacre, and most recently, Unkind.
Yes.
How did those projects come about?
So, with Jack-o'-lantern Massacre, this is a hilarious story because I'm a very petty human. I am very, very, very petty. So I got out of this relationship that was very serious, and he was very much like, "Oh, I don't want you acting like at all. Like I don't like this is before I've ever done Midsummers. Like this was still like I wasn't really acting. He's like, "Oh, I don't want you acting at all. Like what if you have to do stage kiss and you also barely spend time with me? Like da da da." And so, like literally the week after we broke up and I was alone in my room, I was staying up till 11 o'clock at night. And so, no, it was actually past like 11. It was like midnight. And so I'm like scrolling my phone and I follow like all these like auditions for like films and stuff, because that was what one of my high school teachers like recommended me to do if I ever wanted to become a professional actress. And so I saw it and I'm like, huh, they're doing like a public like audition at this library and stuff. Like, I'll go in. Like, I'll go in. I'll be petty. Like, imagine like if I just got cast right now and they like. So literally next day, woke up early, got ready, went to this audition, barely reading the script, and that's where I met Tyler, the director of Jack-o'-lantern Massacre. And immediately, my one rule is like, if you're auditioning for something, immediately like click with them, like find a way to bond with them. I knows like he had a Attack of the Killer Clown shirt. I've seen that movie, great movie. And so like him and I like talked because I like obviously I want people to like me, because like again, like film industries and theater industries are so small that if one of them hears something really bad about you, like no one else is really gonna want you there. So of course I make great impressions and stuff. And so I auditioned, read the script. I read for both parts of Hannah and Riley. And then went to work that day. I felt like pretty confident, which only happens with like few roles where it's like, oh, I feel really confident, like, oh, I'm definitely getting casted. And then that Friday I woke up to like a text and an email basically being like, hey, we want you for Riley. Would you want this role and stuff? I was like, oh my god, like yes, like a film, like a named film, like hallelujah and stuff. And so I'm so thankful I get to start filming on that next year. So that's gonna be exciting. I mean, I already did some filming with it, but we do have to do probably some reshoots and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Where did Unkind come from?
So Unkind, that was very interesting. I saw it on my, like, again, the same Facebook thing, and I applied to audition, like, online. However, I think I applied a little late because they didn't see my audition stuff till, like, later. But I got an email back from them, and they're like, hey, like, sorry, like, we were already casted everyone. However, would you, like, want to come back and do, like, background work and stuff? And I was like, yeah, like, sure. Like, I'm so down because my biggest, here's the thing. If you want to get into films, do background work. That's how you are going to learn everything and be so prepared. Because, like, I was so nervous because I got cast for Jack Lair Massacre before Unkind. So I was like, I didn't know a lot of, like, film terms because they're film and theater are very different. So, basically, I did Unkind. I learned a lot more of the terminology. And Jeff is an amazing director. He was very, like, much, like, there, and he did genuinely care. It didn't feel like one of those directors where it's like, okay, I just need you guys to do your job and, like, leave me alone to focus on, like, the actual actor. Like, no. Like, Jeff, like, actually, like, full on, like, really cared about us because the topics in Unkind are, like, very dark, very heavy, to the point where he said, like, flat out, like, at the beginning of the day, he was like, hey, if, like, anyone needs to take a break because it's getting too serious, like, sit out, like, talk to me, like, I'm listen stuff. And I really respected that of him, and I'm still friends with him and everything. I did background work with him for another little film I forgot the name of. It was, like, a student film, and it was really cool to see him again. So yeah,
I love it when directors are concerned about the well-being of their actors.
yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most important things that a director, stage manager, whoever can do is to make sure that their actors are safe, feel safe, and are respected. So those are, some very important things.
Yeah.
So what was it like stepping into the world of horror?
So, I don't know if you ever do this, but in, like, my mind with, like, film and theater, I have, like, different, like, little lists, and I always, like, that I, like, check off, like, minor things. Like, I just saw it, and I'm like, a horror movie, like, okay. I did do, like, a murder mystery play when I was in middle school, so, like, I knew I could scream for it. I got one of those, like, student awards for, like, best scream and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what, something new, like, give it a try. And so it was very, like, different. We haven't shot any of the scenes, like, killing scenes yet, because Dietrich, who plays our killer, he's currently on tour with, like, his band and stuff. Like, he's full in the music world and stuff.
Okay.
Which, respect. He's also, like, the most intimidating person I ever met. Like, he's amazing. Like, he's the kindest person ever. But he shows up in his full rocker, like, you're in these platform boots, and he's taller than me. I'm 6'2" for you guys listening. I am 6'2", and this man makes me look like an ant.
Wow.
So it's very different, but it's so cool because it's, like, very much, like, it's a classic. It's a classic. Like, nothing can go wrong in a horror movie. Like, and those are always my favorite movies.
Well, because if it does go wrong, it's part of the script.
Exactly.
That's just what it is. So any wild behind the scenes stories?
Any wild behind the scenes story? Oh my gosh. Okay. And where this might be. No, it's not a spoiler. He posted it on his social media, so yeah. We had to get a neck hold for me.
Okay.
So basically what they had to do was they had to cover, like, my neck in, like, silicone and stuff and create this giant, like, plaster in my neck. And so I'm sitting there forever, like, staying completely still as they're painting all this stuff, like, up to my chin, to the point where, like, it's, like, huge. Like, it looks like I have, like, a giant double chin and stuff. And so, like, I literally was facing with my dad, and he just, like, my dad doesn't know anything about the film and theater world. He really doesn't. He's full athlete through and through, volleyball player, like, motorcycle guy. So he just looks at me, he's like, what are you doing? Like, I can't say his direct words because that's not the most inappropriate thing to say on this podcast. But he was just like, what are you doing? And everyone was just around me is dying laughing. I can't laugh because I have this thing holding my mouth shut, and I can't. And so he's basically, like, making fun of me and, like, laughing at me. And so I'm like, okay, Dad, I gotta go, bye. So I hang up, and then they start removing this mold. And it removed every single one of my neck hairs. And, like, no, like, disrespect to, like, the special effects team. Like, they did an amazing job. It just was, like, I've never felt that sort of pain, and I've just like had to brace myself as they're pulling this giant thing from like the back of my neck,
Yeah.
and I'm just like dying.
So I'm guessing through that you're going to get your throat slit.
Possibly. I can't spoil it.
I was going to say, don't, we won't ruin it, but that's just an educated guess, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does your process differ between in preparation for stage or screen?
So honestly, to be 100%, I think the only difference is like for theater is I don't listen to my script like nonstop like with Spotify like that. I do that for all the time for theater. However, with film, I don't like film is way different because I am basically making the character. It's not like a character that was already like based on all these other parts. Like, no. Like, it's like, okay, you're the first of this. So it's really what you want to do with the character.
Okay.
So I do kind of the same thing I do with film, where it's like I create a playlist that gives me that vibes based off the little bit I have. And Tyler, he's amazing. He gave us basically, it felt like a very bare minimum of a script. Like, it didn't tell us any not stage directions. It didn't tell us any directions or anything. It was very much like he put down the lines. He mostly like wanted us to say like the foundation, he would say. And then we do kind of like beat up the scene where we add like certain improv aspects to it and just like more make it our own.
Sure.
So it's very much like it's still us. Like we're doing all these things on the spot, creating these characters and everything. And like for example, like me and the guy that plays Tristan, which is actually Ben, who played Demetrius with me in Midsummer Night's Dream. I believe he's still playing Tristan, but like him and I were reading the script because I did help him with his audition tape. I was like, yeah, you should audition with us, right? And like him and I were like at the script. I'm like, hey, like these two kind of act like they are like almost a couple, like, you know, like where it's like that awkward, like are they, aren't they thing. So him and I were just like, yeah, like let's do that with our characters. Like, so we made it more of our own thing. It wasn't like someone else telling us what to do. It was very much our own point of view, how we wanted to make the characters be.
Right.
Yeah. So like Riley is very much like 100% when I first read the script, Riley is very much exactly like my best friend Lexi. Like through and through. They're very much the type that's like, hey, like, oh, like let's go to this party. Like, let's do this. Like, let's just full send it and have fun. Like, get out of your like head. Like, don't stress. So yeah. So like when I auditioned, I had my best friend in my mind basically being like, let's do it.
Cool. Inspiration can come from anywhere. And it's good to have it. So, what's your favorite horror film?
Oh, that's like Sophie's choice. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the new Final Destination, Bloodlines, because one, it's a classic series, and like obviously the deaths in Final Destination are always so amazing. And also, they hired two of my favorite like male like celebrities ever, who are like two of the funniest actors I know, which is Owen Patrick Joyner and God, my mind's blanking on his name, but it was the one that played Eric Campbell. But they're so funny, and it's a very different twist on the Final Destination because it's not just like focusing on the people that escape death. No, it's focusing on the families that escape like death in general, like the bloodlines. But if it wasn't Final Destination Bloodlines, I would have to say The Black Phone. That I think was the first horror movie that actually like made me almost cry. Like, cause it's such a powerful like story on top of being like scary.
Yeah.
Like the scene where he's like picking up the phone and he's like, and he's getting advice from like his dead like friend of like what to do and stuff. And he's just like practicing fighting, like holding this phone and stuff. And it's so like beautiful, the art and the story that they are trying to tell, and it brought me so much to tears. And I'm so excited to see the sequel. I'm so excited that they're coming out with.
All right. So if you were in one of those horror films, would you survive?
No. Here's the thing. I mean, Black Phone, maybe because I'm again 6'2", and I feel like if I was in a fight or flight situation, I would win over him. However, Final Destination Bloodlines, no. I am the clumsiest person I know.
I was gonna say, is there anybody that ever actually survives those? Yeah,
but the only way to do that is like either like killing someone and gaining their years of life, or what was it? Or dying and like coming back to life. And I'm not taking those on.
Yeah,
I am not.
Not something I want to try. So what are you working on right now?
So right now I am working on Drunken Classics at Third Act Theater. I am currently Viola right now in 12th Night. And then I know I start filming next year for Jack Kellar Massacre, but yeah. So please come down and see us at Third Act Theater for those Drunk Classics.
And when do you start? You should be rehearsing now?
Yes, we are currently in rehearsal.
Okay, when does the show open?
The performances are going to be November 14th, 15th, I believe 21st and 22nd. So those dates. So
Yeah. Ticket information will be in the show notes for this episode. So
yeah.
are there any dream roles or collaborations on your radar?
Oh my god, I love this question. Okay. So if we're talking about theater, my absolute dream roles are musicals. Natalie Next to Normal, hands down. Like, absolute dream role. Relate to the character. Or if another musical character is Annabeth Chase or Clarice from Percy Jackson the musical, that's also a dream. However, if we're talking about like, or Juliet, even for Romeo and Juliet, like I said earlier. But if we're talking about like films and stuff, I know the show's about to end, but I want to be on Outer Banks. That's my... Like, here's the funny thing. My celebrity crush is on that show. That Outer Banks is kind of also what got me into really want to start acting. Because, basically I would watch all the behind the scenes videos of the cast, like all having fun and stuff, like, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's a dream, like I want to do that, like I want to be that close with a group of people, I want to act, I want to travel the world, like this is what I want to do.
Find you a good series and make it a part of you. I think that's how a lot of actors nowadays, that's how they get their start.
Oh yeah, like did you hear that interview that Evan Peters literally admitted the only reason he started acting was because he wanted to meet the Olsen twins? And now he like played like Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff and Tate in American Horror Story, and he's like a phenomenal actor, and
Yep.
like that's impressive.
That's how you get seen. So do you see yourself staying rooted in Oklahoma, or are you eyeing other places?
I'm eyeing other places. I mean, I don't think I would stay in Oklahoma for the rest of my life, only because y'all don't have beaches. Y'all don't have any beaches. I have an ocean.
Actually, if you do your research,
Isn't
Oklahoma has more shoreline than any state in the United States.
Yeah.
You just got to look for it.
True. I'm also like very much like I want to learn how to like surf, and like I also like I don't picture myself really settling down in any other state. Like my dream for the longest time was to actually travel in a van around the world. So, I mean, my mind, because of Outer Banks, have been like eyeing like North and South Carolina or like Florida or something. But yeah, I told myself like I'm not gonna really go back to Oregon because like lived there, experienced it, great to visit family, wouldn't stay there.
Yeah.
But in like Oklahoma, I'm like yeah, like it's nice, but like I don't know if I'd spend the rest of my life here, especially away from like everyone though.
Yeah, that is a difference. So if you could time travel 5 years into the future, okay, what do you hope that you're doing?
5 years in the future, I don't think I'm gonna be like famous like Meryl Streep, like ugh, like I'm a very realistic person, but I think hopefully I'd be in a relationship because I'm single, so I'm like hopefully I'd find someone by then that actually likes being around me, and I would 100% like probably like act like full time, like not like saying like doing like Oscar work or something in 5 years because that's almost sounds impossible, but like doing like maybe a part in a show or a movie or something, like just like making it by doing acting, and like yeah, it's kind of like hopefully where I see myself. Definitely a dog. I want a dog. I want a dog by then.
Well, okay. And used to back in the day, even when I was a kid, the only way you're going to do something like that is if you pack up and head to LA.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's not the case.
Oh, very much. I couldn't stand living in California. I have a bunch of family that lives in California. Like, good for them. However, when I was little, I spent one time 3 hours in traffic, and I will never, ever get past my road rage that day.
There you go. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this, a little bit about it in your little plot twist earlier, but the ultimate question that so many of us ask, why theater?
Why theater? Why not? I mean, here's the thing. I feel like it's a very, how do I explain it? I feel like you can't really do film without theater, and you can't do theater without film in a way. Like, I mean, I think theater it's kind of like dance in a way, how like ballet is the basic foundation for all dancing styles. I believe theater is that for all acting styles, because like even if you do background work, theater will teach you how to act in that moment on stage, like in front of all these people live. And like very much with film, it's like that helps a lot, like being able to memorize his lines, do it right the first take and stuff. So it really does help. And then I don't know, like with theater also, like I grew up always doing it. I really loved it. I didn't even really think film was an option for me out here first when I first did it. So I mean, I just kind of
Yeah, Oklahoma's not really the first thing that pops into people's head when they think about film. So
yeah. So it was very much like I saw my siblings do it, loved it, kept doing it, wanted to continue it, and just like stuck with it. Like it's very much like, oh, I did this. I love it. I want to keep doing this. I meet all these great people. Oh, I'm going to stick with this.
well, there you go. So if you meet a young artist, they come to you, they're unsure about pursuing theater,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell them?
My main advice for anyone pursuing theater is accept the little wins throughout life. Because my main thing is like I used to get like the weird, like very like small characters with only a couple lines, weird characters. Like one time I was a moon that didn't have any lines, it just had to spin on stage during a song, and this was in high school. But accept those, because then you're gonna learn more. You're gonna want to do it differently each time. You're gonna want to improve that. And then the more and more people see you being more cooperative with these like little things, then they're gonna start trusting you with the bigger stuff and the bigger stuff, and that's gonna help you a lot. Like, because I went from having Moth and Phil Straight to being Moth, Phil Straight, Snug, and composing the music and all that. And then like now, like I can literally call like anyone from that cast and be like, oh, like I need help or something, and they hands down would help me or anything.
That's cool. That's good advice. That's
Thank
good
you.
advice. Okay, wrapping things up today, I'm gonna do a little fun game here.
Oh, a fun game.
This is the rapid fire round. So I'm gonna ask you a set of questions. First thing that pops into your head, and we're gonna go quick. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Dream role that you haven't played.
Oh, why did I want to say Viola? Natalie next normal.
Okay. Pre-show ritual.
Pre-show ritual. I do the dance moms like handshake thing where they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
I see
They,
that
like,
so
shake
much.
the-
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite rehearsal snack.
Favorite rehearsal snack? Well, always a can of Pepsi with me. I'm actually like a Pepsi addict, so yeah.
Okay. That's good enough. A line that you've performed that you'll never forget.
Have you the lines part written? Pray you, if it be, give it me, for I am slow as study.
There you go. A stage mishap that you can laugh about now. And I think we probably talked about that.
Yeah, the one of me falling and like eating it, or like I don't know. I don't know if you remember this in the performance, but how each night of Midsummer's I would sing a different song. For that scene where it's like Titania's asleep and I'm just like strumming on the ukulele. So like there's a lot of good memories. Like Frank doesn't know pop culture. Frank that played like Overhaul Theses, he doesn't know pop culture songs. So the first time I ever sang Sweet Caroline, he interrupted me before the bum bum bombs. And I just look at him and I'm like,
Yeah.
And then like I did it a second night. That was the only song I've ever repeated. And he like finally did it at the right time. I'm like, thank you.
Nice. So, any parting words of wisdom before we say goodbye?
I better make this good then. Okay. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. This has been an absolute honor. I am a huge fan of your podcast. Okay.
Thank you.
So it is quite an honor. But leaving this is celebrate every little accomplishment. Like even the smallest things. It could be to having your first line in a show, to taking your first step on stage, to having your first bow. Accept and celebrate every little theater accomplishment you do in your life, because I always do that. I make little mental checklists, like for example, Viola, first leading lady part I've ever played. that my name's at like the top of a show list. First time maybe I'll bow alone completely. First time doing almost an improv based play. So it's like all these little checklists that I'm celebrating each time. And so even like if you get like a very small part, like celebrate it. Like you still get to enjoy the show. You're gonna meet lifelong friends. Like, so enjoy it all. Yeah.
You got a part that somebody else did. So
Yeah. And
All
prove
right.
yourself. Like you can prove it.
Absolutely. Celebrate the little victories. There you go. Well, Sam, thank you for agreeing to do this. So many people paid attention yesterday that we had an opening come available. Sam had time in her schedule just to jump in and take
Yes.
advantage.
I was like, put me on. I want to do this.
And I was so grateful that you agreed to do this on short notice. I appreciate it.
Of course.
It's been a lot of fun. So, again, thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate you taking the time to be
I
with us.
appreciate you having me, and I can't wait to see what amazing shows you are going to do because I'm rooting for you, man. All
I
right?
appreciate that.
Of
Thank you very
course.
much. For everybody else listening at home, thank you for your time. Thanks for giving a little bit of space in your life for us. And no matter what you do, continue to support the arts.
Yes.
Oklahoma!